This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95Radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you very much for connecting. And of course, my Instagram people, my TikTok people as well. And you know what? I'll tell you something, man, which was really cool the other day. I was actually a guest on a show the other day, which was really cool for a change because I don't have to talk. I still talked a lot, but I don't have to set up the questions. Shout out to Ted and Dar as well from the Part-Time Pundits who had me on. And I think the episode's coming out today, so make sure you check that out. What's coming on the show today? Now, sports and politics are often a common clash in Spain, but how is the next president of Barcelona the deciding factor in sports history? Sounds crazy, right? Laporte is said to be officially the Barcelona president in Catalonia, but how will the real king of Barcelona, Messi, react to the appointment? What does that mean for the future of the club? Legend is a term we often use, but we kind of feel that term might have been exhausted at Barcelona. Or do you think Messi should stay and continue his legacy? So we're talking about that. We're also talking about sports documentaries. Now, if you get a chance to Netflix and chill, then sometimes you get a chance to catch some good sports documentaries. What documentaries have you seen? Shoot them my way. I want to know from you guys. 4215 Ittasalat or slide into my DMs at Omar Duri and let me know. And motivation is key nowadays. You know, everyone's looking for motivation. Everyone's looking for that lift. But audio has taken over the world. And in that sense, we're looking at the different shows, the different podcasts, the different types of things that are happening out there. Again, I want to hear from you. What's good? Let me know. Obviously, apart from the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio, let me know what you're listening to and what I can listen to in my meantime to keep me motivated on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Yes, we are back. Welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Thank you very much for spending your time with me wherever you're tuned in around the world. Kareem, all the way back. You've got Ellie, you've got Lara, Masoud, Musab, MJ, who else have I got here? Megan, Louise, Levi, Qasim, Huda, V, Reem, Alia, who else? Divya, of course, Ted, and everyone else, and Yindra as well, and Megan, of course. Thank you very much for connecting with me. Hope you guys are having a great day. What up, Nigel? We are talking good stuff today. We're talking about, now a lot of motivation comes from like podcasts, and nowadays even more that we have time at home. Some people obviously restricted to lockdown. You are getting a chance to watch a lot more, to listen to a lot more, and that's kind of the theme of the show today. We're talking about, you know, what motivates you out there, what's out there at the moment that's good, what's going on at the moment, and how are we motivated by it. So I think it was Qasim that was saying regarding documentaries wise, and we'll get to the podcast later, but documentaries wise, what are you guys watching out there? I remember when the Jordan documentary hit, everyone was kind of saying, you know, wow, what a story. You saw the pros, you saw the cons. And normally it's kind of like a huge thing, because obviously Michael Jordan, arguably, you know, the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball. But along the way, his teammates, his coaches, the reaction he got, the downs, the ups, the relationship with his father, there's so many factors in there that I kind of liked. Pele has just come out. Has anyone watched that one as well? Pele's come out. I told you about the life of Aaron Hernandez as well, and the CTE and mental health and the brain scan and the damage that was caused through American football. So we've got basketball, you've got American football. You've also got things like, I don't know if you've ever watched the Tyson documentary. Now I'm a bit biased because I love me some Tyson. Tyson is the man. But even with Tyson, when you saw the show where he was narrating it, or the documentary when he was narrating it, that was incredible. His story, his relationship with Castamaro, all the trouble that he got into, and his rise to that as well was really, really impressive. So thinking of that as well, there was many, many factors over there that kind of made me think how these people rise after failure. I think that's a huge thing. But also looking at the different, you know, opinions. You had the Nicholas Anelka one that came out, which was also interesting. But for some reason, we always look at the controversial ones. Tiger Woods was another one from golf that you had out there. There's plenty of ones. Then you have the All or Nothing series, where it has American football, or it had, Manchester City or had Tottenham. And then you have the Marcelo Bielsa Leeds one as well. That was really good. Megan tells me the Hand of God Maradona. Yes, you see, that's what I'm saying. There were so many different ones, but even the fact that I got a chance I was so lucky to meet Mike Tyson. I got a chance to hear him talk about his story, his journey, his rise to fame. But there was this presence about him, because he's actually very well spoken. So he was talking about his life story, and he was very calm. But anyone that knows Mike Tyson is next level. So and even when I shook his hand, it's the size of his hand, was massive. I was thinking, imagine getting hit by one of those. That is on another level. But this is what I mean. We see all these characters on screen, and then when it comes to fruition and you see them in real life, some people are in awe of them because they're larger than life on screen. Then you meet them and you're thinking, wow, so I just met Mike Tyson, So with the documentaries, what have you been watching? What's been out there that you think, you know what, I need some of that. I need to watch some of that. And even, have you rewatched anything out there? Because we're often looking at motivation. We're looking at so many different factors when it comes down to, documentaries. But what inspires you? Is it a success story? Is it maybe, if you ever watched the Sunderland documentary, some people call that quite depressing, but even with the Sunderland documentary, the reality of failure and the reality of a city that absolutely adores its sport, I actually thought it was one of the best out there on IMDb. It got a very, very good rating as well. So that tells you something regarding, what we all look for that's different. So what do you look for that's different? Let me know, what documentaries are you watching? I'm going to be right back after the break, because coming up next, we're talking about what is going on in Barcelona. Stay tuned on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. Welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. Thank you very much for connecting with me today. If you're missing a show and you're kicking yourself, don't worry, you can catch us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud if you like a podcast, or even head over to the YouTube channel Pulse 95 Radio. Thanks to Super Mario and Gabby. They put all of our episodes on there, focusing on things like mental health, gut health, and how to condition the brain as well as the body. The guests we have on there are on point. So make sure you check it out. Show some love. Smash a like on there. Makes a big difference. And also share the content as well. All right, guys. So we were talking about on the first segment, the documentaries are out there. Plenty of good stuff happening, out in the world of Netflix, and you've got, all the different platforms that actually have some really good documentaries highlighting a lot of things. I think at a time where a lot of people kind of need a bit of motivation, something that's going to lift them a bit. That was the first part. But now we're talking about what is going on at Barcelona. Now, when I say that straight away, I had Kareem, shout out to Kareem, I know he's listening. I had Kareem say to me, Barcelona are never going to win tonight. It's over. No regrets. Reset. Everything. What I'm going to say at that is, before we look on what's going to happen on the field, and this is for all people that follow sports or fitness or health, a lot goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes we try not to include politics and we try not to get politics involved. But let's face it, in some organizations, some institutions, politics is a huge factor, massive factor. And one of the things that's happening out there at the moment now is Barcelona and their presidency. Now, for some people, when I say Barcelona, you think Messi straight away, but not often can you think that a president can change the history of sport by the next decision he makes. And that decision happens to be whether he keeps Lionel Messi and convinces him to stay on board. Now, if we look at Barcelona, they let go of Neymar, and in that time they invested that money from Neymar on other players who unfortunately did not deliver. When you think of players like Antoine Griezmann, you think of players like Ousmane Dembele, you look at these players and then you think all of a sudden it hasn't really worked out for them. Massive shoes to fill, I know, but looking at who is behind the scenes now, Laporte has just been appointed as president of Barcelona. Now, many people are going to say, well, with Laporte, Pep Guardiola was his man. Pep Guardiola was his guy. Messi was his guy. So now how is he going to resurrect things? And often you see a lot of promises made from politicians, and I have nothing against politicians, but from politicians saying what they're going to bring to the table when they're in charge. Well, he's in charge now, and the biggest decision probably in Barcelona's sports history is what's going to happen with Messi. We all know Barcelona have issues with their financial, their finances, their financial sector, and they often take loans to be able to finance their players, but they haven't been able to finance players because they have someone earning a lot of money in the boots of Lionel Messi. Now, in doing so, this step is huge because A, he has to convince Messi to take a pay cut, and B, he has to get a loan from a bank to be able to fund the new players coming in. We've all heard of links with Mohamed Salah. We've all heard of links with Neymar coming back. We've all heard links of Haaland going to Spain. But which of them is going to be real? And if Messi does leave, where is he going to go? If he does go to Manchester City, will that then free up funds for Barcelona to replace him with 2 or 3 players? It's always going to be hard to replace someone in the boots of Lionel Messi, but this is where everything comes into fruition. Catalonia is massive. Laporte might be the president, but he's not the king of Barcelona. So I'm going to leave that with you. Who's going to be in charge when Laporte comes in? Actually, this segment was inspired by my uncle. Shout out to Khalid Saleh. He said to me, make sure we get the likes. So Khalid Saleh, this is for you. He's a huge Barcelona fan, very, very passionate, and actually taught me everything I know about football. So that tells you a lot in terms of my respect for him. But he came in the other day and said, what's going on at Barcelona? Very serious. You should do something on your show. So hey, Khalid, this is for you. This is what happens when, you know, your nephew is is a radio host. The show is now dedicated to, you know, different opinions. And what is your opinion? Should Barcelona cash in on Lionel Messi and start fresh? Or should the 34-year-old be given another year, knowing that he's able to walk away in June once his contract is expired? And that is something that last year Barcelona didn't honor because they kept him past his time due to the COVID restrictions in the league being extended. So there's so many factors right there of where Barcelona can. And if Barcelona do let Messi go, who would you like to see in Barcelona? There's one for you. If Messi does leave, where would he go, and who will Barcelona replace with Lionel Messi? There you go. I've told you now that there happens to be a game tonight, which is PSG versus Barcelona. Now, we spoke a little bit about what's happening behind the scenes with Laporte showing up to training, speaking to Koeman, and giving Messi a little hug. Will Pep Guardiola walk away from Manchester City and go and join his mate Laporte at Barcelona? And when you look at that and you look at all the different type of things that Barcelona have been lacking, they've been lacking winning the Champions League, and it's been 6 years. So if it's been 6 years since they won the Champions League, and someone of Lionel Messi, who's ended up top scorer in every season prior to that, is he doing enough, or is that his maximum? Laporte has won trophies as a president with Barcelona, and he wants to bring that back. He's won La Liga, 4 times, Copa del Rey, won Super Copa 3 times, the Champions League, he's won it twice, the Super Cup once, and the World Club Cup once. Tonight, the roles are reversed. The roles are reversed in the fact that PSG come with an advantage. We have seen Barcelona turn around the advantage against PSG when Emre was involved. We've seen Liverpool turn around the advantage against Barcelona, but can Barcelona do it? And Ibrahim, you asked me a great question. You said, can Barcelona win today? And that's what I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be very tough, but the first goal will count. And how Pochettino will set up, will he be more pragmatic and hit them on the counter using the speed of Mbappe, or will they go for it from the beginning and kill them off from the first half? What do you guys think? 4215 Atheletes, or do Kareem, you promised me a cheesecake, even though I can't eat any sweets right now. You promised me a cheesecake if Barcelona win. I don't know if I want them to win, but I'll be really interested to see if I get that cheesecake if they win tonight. Let me know, 4215 Atheletes, or do, or slide up into my DMs and give me a shout out. I will see you right after the break. Here is some Hate Me and Goodbyes from Post Malone and Ellie Goulding.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show Show with Omar Duri. Thank you very much for connecting with me today. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in on the Instagram Live and TikTok and even YouTube. This is fantastic. Love to see you guys involved and actually keeping everything up like the way it should be. Right, okay, we spoke about documentaries. We spoke about what is going on at Barcelona. And now what I want to pick your brain about is podcasts. Now, a lot of people are going out there and producing podcasts and putting out content, which is fantastic. But what are you guys listening to at the moment? What is, apart from the halftime show, what are you guys actually, tuned into? What gets your attention? Is it more the health and fitness stuff? Is it more the sports related stuff? I feel like with sports, sometimes there's a niche for it in the sense that depending on what sport you love, you want to hear in-depth discussions on the sport that you enjoy, whether it's UFC, for example. I know Dan Hardy is one person I always have time to kind of listen to. Joe Rogan, obviously, is someone that's extremely popular. But I even like listening to people like Jim Quick, the brain coach, which, again, with the brain coach, it affects so many different factors. And we've spoken about mental fitness and emotional fitness on the show. But there is a lot of content out there. I think now a lot of things have shifted to audio rather than, reading a book, for example, or checking out what's out there in the store to be able to buy an actual book itself and read it. And that makes a huge difference in what we're trying to achieve. Sometimes, Jim Quick says it best, and he was on the show actually before. If you haven't checked out the episode, make sure you check it out. Very, very cool. He was talking about reading for the mind is what exercises for the body. And as soon as I heard that, I was thinking, yeah, that is really, really, that is really good. And I thought about it, and exercising your brain is something that a lot of people ask, Omar, how do we exercise our brain? You've spoken about mental fitness a lot on the show, but I think we all have our own ways of kind of tracking that and triggering that and being able to almost like not stare at a screen. I say that while I'm staring at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5 screens in the hour, but sometimes not looking at a screen, having a good read of the book, or even listening to an audible or an audio, that could really help kind of reset your brain and reset your mindset in a lot of the things that we're distracted by. Our phones, we're quite distracted by our emails, our family, our friends. There's so many things that, sometimes just kind of switching off and being able to take that time out to look at what's good in the market at the moment now. And that's why I mentioned Jim Quick. Brian Keane is another one. Very, very good. He speaks about things. He's got 2 books out, one on the way. And it's funny because his podcasts are very, very good. Really, really good content. Sheikh Nizam says, T4 Football, their recent merge with The Athletic adds a whole different value in terms of in-depth analysis. Absolutely agree with you 100%. I like Dave Ornstein. I like Mark Chapman as well. I think they're very, very good. But you see, even with that, for example, if you're not into football, you're not going to listen to that. I'm very much into it. I got to listen to something every day from the audio stuff. I like the confrontation guy from The Train to Get Younger. I like the content from The Train to Get Younger guy. Yes, Matt Cole, very, very good. He's actually a very, very good specialist of what he does. I've had him on the show as well. So yeah, what's up, Noor? So yeah, there's a lot of people that have really good content out there. But what are you listening to? What's out there that stands to mind? And is it a specialist that you follow, or is it someone that brings on guests that kind of triggers something off? When we mentioned Joe Rogan, we mentioned Jim Quick. You might like Jay Shetty as well. That's very good. Tifo, that's something that's quite a hit. Dave Ornstein is very credible guy in terms of sources. Or the halftime show, that's another one that you can shameless plug. You can also tune into. But yeah, I think for me, this is how I see it, and especially on the show, you've seen a depth of so many different characters and personalities that have added their flavor to the show, and I think that's what makes it so unique in that sense, because you've got all these flavors, and depending on what you're into, there is something for everyone. And that's why I've been very fortunate and maybe punched above my weight a little bit by bringing these fantastic guests on. You saw Avram Grant come in here with all his knowledge on the game, but also the psychological part was very interesting. You've seen Jim Quick, the brain coach, come on here and also discuss, what reading does for the brain is like what exercise does for the body, and that was interesting as well. You've had, Tunde Ajayi, who's a educator, he's a philosophy boxing coach who has a set amount of ideas, which is very, very interesting in that sense as well. But see, there's so many people I've mentioned, and even Shakib is saying Gary V. Yes, of course, no one can forget him. And with Gary V, his content is solid. He gets he gets a lot out there. He gets a lot of things that you sometimes think, yeah, no excuses. I was about to swear there. No excuses, but straightforward, Dave Goggins is another one. I'm not sure if he has a podcast, but I've heard him as a guest on different shows. And he was very, very interesting. Anthony Robbins is a famous one. Almas, I also enjoy all of your content, but wished you had a longer show to get more in depth. Thank you very much, Almas. Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, Pulse 95, are you listening? That's what they're saying about the show, which is great. So but what are you listening to? 4215 Itasalat or slide into my DMs at Omar Duri and let me know, and I'll be right back after break. Hey, listen. When you listen to this show, you got to have some Burner Boy. Enjoy this.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Yes, hope you've enjoyed the show today as much as me. Thank you very much for connecting with me today. If you're just tuning in on the show and you've missed it, podcasts are out on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple. Or if you prefer a visual, thank you to Super Mario and Gabby, who put all our content out on YouTube, Pulse 95 Radio. Okay, so on the show today, we spoke about what motivates you in terms of the content that's out there. So the first thing we spoke about was documentaries. Plenty of great sports documentaries out there. We spoke about Maradona. We spoke about the American football documentaries, such as the All or Nothing series. You've also got the life of Aaron Hernandez, which was very interesting in terms of the mental health aspect. You've got Pele that just came out, and you had Mike Tyson. So there's a lot of good things out there. But what have you watched? What stands out for you? And the Jordan one, of course, for all the basketball fans. Then we spoke about Barcelona. What is going on at Barcelona right now? Laporta has just taken over, and it could be the biggest decision in Barcelona and sports history in what he does with a man like Lionel Messi, who is reaching the end of his contract, and when he does, he will be able to leave at his mercy, at his wish. And that will be because last year he couldn't get out of there. So now it kind of puts him in that perspective. But yeah, so we spoke about that as well. And then last but not least, podcasts. Audio is taking over. People prefer to listen to audio on the drive. They prefer to listen to content. We mentioned a lot of great people who speak about the different things that stimulates their brain. And as Jim Quick said, what reading is for the brain is what exercise is for the body. And so what kind of things are you doing to exercise your brain? Very, very good question put out there for you guys. Let me know. As we are reaching full time on the Halftime Show, let me ask you this. Have you checked out our episodes on YouTube? Which of the episodes did you enjoy most in terms of the guests? Almas, you said something very, very nice and said that, you wish the show was a little bit longer. Hey, make sure that Pulse 95 Radio hear you say that. And remember, guys, thank you very much also for your support. We were joking off air with Omnia when she sees me come in, I have a certain mood, and then all of a sudden, once I'm on and once I'm with you guys, I am bouncing off the walls. And that comes down to all the support and love that you guys show me, and also your feedback. Your feedback is very important. What would you like to hear more of? Who would you like to see on the show? Are they in the UAE or are they abroad? If they are abroad, maybe we can set up a Zoom call. If you know someone that you think will add value, you've seen that the show is more than just a sports show. It's also covering things like mental health, gut health, and what affects the brain as well as the body. So let us know, and we'll try our best to bring that to life. Almas says the Pele documentary was the top for me. Almas, I haven't seen it yet, so maybe I'm going to hit that this weekend and see what's out there. It is full time. Hope you've enjoyed it. Here's some Maluma, just to make sure you guys are in the same mood as me. Enjoy it, folks. Peace and love and blessings. Love you guys, and I will see you back on Saturday, same time, same place, on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories. Pulse.